Hello and welcome to Daytona International Speedway for today's USARC BET365 Duels in the Aaron's Pro Cup Series. Sure is an interesting one we got here today. Luke Evans and Kyler Sustry on the front row, with Cameron Brennan a real strong showing for the Soaring Seagull racing cars today.
Out the pole and the front row as well. That's the second year in a row they've done it. Also good showing from Daniel Voiles there in the fourth position, so he's basically locked in that 02 entry. So yeah, a good day for the underdogs here, a good day for the big dogs as well.
Yeah, indeed. There's a lot of things that can happen here at Daytona. Obviously, last year there were some pretty bad crashes, but hopefully these guys can fight through the adversity today.
Yeah, well, they've got to be careful. They've got 20 laps to finish inside the top 14. Otherwise, they have to fall back on either their owner's points position or their time, which is not a situation you really want to be in.
And we'll be back with the green flag just shortly.
Drivers, start your engines!
There we have it. The field's rolling off here. It'll be 20 laps. Not a long race by any means, but it's an important one.
Yes, sir. These drivers have been waiting all off season long for some racing action, and at least most of the drivers here are going to give us a solid 20 laps of action here at the Duels.
Yeah, and they're all going to be, apart from one man, that's a man on the pole, they're all going to be thinking the same thing. Top 14, so there's 26 cars in this group, and just over half of them will be able to race their way into the 500. So it's going to be really frantic, but also really interesting because you cannot risk too much, but you have to make some big moves to lock yourself into 500.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of fast cars toward the back I can see. Like the 40, Reese Kupski, he was a title contender last year, and he'll be looking to make his way to the front quickly.
But another question is, what can the field do about those SSR Fords? That's going to be an interesting one. They come off turn 4.
And we're getting set here. The pace car pulls off pit road. And we are green in duel number 1 here at Daytona. Evans gets a great start coming out of the gates. He goes up high to try and get with his teammate, the 11 of Kyler Sustry, heading into 1.
Sustry's going to be able to get down, and that's going to be those 3 SSR cars all on the bottom, which is really handy for them.
Yes, indeed. Coming onto the backstretch for the first time, Evans remains in the lead. Sustry looks high, and Brennan looks low. And there you see further back the 50 of Rigel, 3 wide.
Yeah, it's very early to make moves like that. Looks like Riley Spurleychew's going to go on the outside. Daniel Voiles, part of a 3 wide block there. But it's going to be Rigel now making his way up into 5th and possibly 4th, depending if Spurley can get down, which he will.
And leading lap 1 will be Luke Evans. We have a 1, 2, 3 for the Soaring Seagull cars. And Spurley looking to do whatever he can. Brennan's going to hop on a line, looking for P2 on Kyler Sustry.
Yeah, all these guys, apart from the 10, need to just be as far up the field as possible. And that may include ditching your teammate, as Brennan has just done there.
Yeah, Brennan, it was a such short notice replacing Maston Rimmel, but he's done a great job and he's showing the world what he can do, even though he was called up on such short notice.
Yeah, he very much impressed in his few starts last season. And we do wish Mr. Rimmel all the best. Hope he comes back soon, but it looks like Brennan will be in that car for the foreseeable future. And he's making a good run of it so far.
He's looking Justin Patrick moves in fourth in the Shock Point Racing. That's fifth, actually, in the Shock Point Racing entry. Dallas Miller just behind in that unsponsored car, pushing him.
Here in the former driver of that car has just been overtaken by Dallas Miller and Kyler Sustrai. And here comes Riley Spurley-Tube now, looking on the inside. He can't get the run.
He'll at least get third from Jacques Rigel, and he's got help from, looks like a former teammate in Justin Patrick, but looks like he's going to ditch.
Yeah, Patrick wants to go for it. Spurley's fairly safe. He's in top 10 in owner's points, so he doesn't have too much to worry about, but it's always nice, obviously, to finish in the top 14. Same can be said similarly for Justin Patrick. He's inside the top 30 in owner's points as well. These guys are okay currently. If you want to find an open car or a car that's outside the top 30, it's right there, Justin Perez. He started in dead last in this, very near the back in this duel, not dead last. But yeah, it's important for a car like him to finish inside the top 14.
Oh, definitely. And that's a new team, that 60, the GM Performance team. They're looking to get whatever they can out of this. Hopefully, they'll be in the 500.
Yeah, it's a new team attempting the full season, but they are very much an open car. They're going to have to race their way in from the start, so very important that they get off to the start here.
Definitely, as you see, the 55, the 555 car of Zachary DeLello, he's been making his way up, and Sustrai had fallen back a bit, but he's starting to make his way up as well.
And it looks like Spurley's once again looking underneath those SSR cars. They're so formidable out in front at the moment. Really promising signs for that team heading into the big race on Saturday. But yeah, Spurley staying with them here as well.
Yeah, I bet he would love to at least get inside of the one to break it up, but no, that team is hauling early on in this duel.
But a very strung out pack here. Not no real free wide racing, no real double wide racing until you get back to about here, which is there's Daniel Sells who lapped last lap at 16th, so he's out of the top 14, as is Caleb Evans. It's currently Bobak Fox on the transfer spot, I believe. However, actually, no, it may be, I believe it's Evans right now, and they're full wide here.
A very close there to what could have been an accident, but oh, they've been split up front. Cameron Brennan is now your leader. Dallas Miller looking, and 3 wide it is Kyler Sustrai in the 11.
Yeah, and doesn't mean too much for the 10 car. He can fall right to the back of the field right now and just cruise around. He doesn't need to worry too much. Are they going to go 4 wide here?
Looks like they're just going to avoid it. Not enough of a run out of the 51 of Seth Morgan to get under, but gonna be a good few positions gained for that 51 team.
Here comes Sustrai for the lead. I feel like Rigel's had a good day staying up here.
Yeah, he's had a solid car so far, and he's stayed mostly out of trouble. Hopefully he can keep it up here.
It's getting interesting now. The transfer spot is right around these guys. Zeller was 14th last lap, however, I think that's definitely changed over now.
Oh, definitely. It's becoming a hornet's nest around that 14th spot. Daniel Sells is going to push it here. Looked almost forward, but the one just cleared it.
He only moved his teammate to get that done, but it's going to pay off because now he's right up front. It's currently Seth Morgan who leads.
Morgan out front and Bobak Fox just behind. Solid runs for these teams early on, as it looks like Fox is trying to make a run for the lead here, coming into one, and Morgan can't get the block.
He does it, just about though.
And Fox now into the lead onto the back straight, pushed by Daniel Sells in the 92. And don't count out that 5,
Here
but
we
Blair
go.
McKenzie is going to push it 4.
And Blair stay on the inside. Yeah, that's 4 wide for the lead right there. Always contact.
Oh, they're touching.
I think they're going to make it out safely.
They're going to make it. Solid move by Blair McKenzie to take the lead, but it doesn't look like they're done yet. Now they are. As Sells moves up in front of the 74 of Bobak Fox.
Take a look at this run from Cameron Lopez. Looks like it's stalled out though.
Lopez, a new driver in the Lautenschlager 83. Luke Evans drove there last year, won in one race at Atlanta. So hopefully he can keep up the speed in his new entries. Brandon Smith, 3 wide for the lead in an extra SSR car.
Yeah, he needs a good result here today. He had got the best qualifying compared to his full-time teammates. Matthew Hubert, he had a poor qualifying as well. He was the slowest time and was starting at the back, right in dead last, however, until Blair McKenzie's time got scrubbed off. Still not the best start speed weeks for that 44 team. However, they're going to remedy that now by taking the lead.
They briefly moved up there, able to cover early in the 8, and coming on to the back straight, Matthew Hubert going to take the lead.
Burley's looking underneath, as is Daniel Boyles.
Big moves out of that 02 car.
Ooh, and Hayes going to make it 4 wide.
He's under him, looking quite good now. Is into pretty much second. Goes KJ Hayes in the 45.
Yeah, that's a new startup family-run team there, KJ H Racing. And a very valiant effort in qualifying, out-qualifying Peter Onjak. They were the 41st slowest car, and Onjak was the 42nd, but still, it's a very formidable achievement in your first race weekend.
Yeah, it's always cool to see a small family-owned team come up and beat the championship contending teams. And in their first race, nonetheless, it's always cool to see.
Yeah, and they will have to race their way in as well. They're quite far down in the pecking order of owners' points. In fact, I believe they're an open car, actually. Right now, on the transfer spot, it's hard to tell who is actually on that 14th position. I call it the transfer spot. Obviously, if you finish well below 14th, you do have some fail-safes.
But obviously, everyone looking to stay above that 14th spot by any means necessary. We've seen the 4 wide moves, and they're going to do it again.
Nearly there. Zeller just lost his run, and Mashburn's going to survive.
Yeah, Mashburn drove a few races last season, but no sponsors on that car. In fact, no sponsors on about 4 cars on the bottom there.
For a moment, yeah, the 4 leading cars on the low lane, all sponsorless. Which is it's a real stark difference, because 3 of those cars had full-time sponsors last season.
Yeah, it just goes to show some of the economics of the sport and how a team can fall off really quickly.
Speaking of one of those cars that had sponsors last season, Joe Zeller now going for the lead. However, Caleb Evans, who's an open car, completely ditched him, and he's going to go for the lead himself.
Yeah, that's a new entry out of the Stealth Autosport stable. They opened up 2 new cars, and they're hoping that an alliance with Full Send Racing with Luna Bennington will really help them.
yeah, Sells had an abysmal qualifying as a team. Kind of concerning, really, for your super speedway pace and your speed weeks pace overall. So yeah, to get some laps led and cars inside the top 14 here is really, really crucial for their confidence.
Indeed, as we're coming onto the back straightaway, about to hit the halfway point here in this duel, and Sustra is all over the back bumper of that 22 car. Meanwhile, Seth Morgan looking under the 11, and Jacques Rigel is going to go for second himself in the 50.
Yeah, Rigel's right in that bubble of the top 30 in owner's points. He's inside, but just about. So another one where the top 14 would be much preferred over having to trust your qualifying time or your owner's points position.
Oh, definitely. You never want to have to be waiting like that. Waiting and pacing around, hoping that you'll make it. You just want to know whether you're in or not. And that's what these guys are trying to do here.
Really, there's no room for error. There's no margin at all right now in that pack. And it's a real big difference to the first 10 laps where they were so spread out at one point.
Yeah, but now they're all packed up. And everyone just trying to make a move that'll get them to the front.
Looks like Sells has a run here, but it may stall out. It may give rise to Blair McKenzie.
Yeah, McKenzie has been fast all day, made that 4 wide move. And now it's going to look low, at least for the second spot for now.
Well, I'm just looking, on that last lap, it was Daniel Voiles who clocked in. However, he's now well inside the top 10. So that just goes to show how quickly this pack moves and really shuffles around. And for a minute, I thought there Brandon Smith was going to make it 4 wide as Riley Spurley with a big run on the inside.
Yeah, coming out of 4, he just doesn't have the run. Brandon Smith is going to peak low, try and take that second spot away. Well, Jacques Rigel absolutely has a grip on this field. They're going for KJ Hayes. Bumps Reese Kupski. They stay straight for now. Kupski getting close on that 31 car. He was all over the place, but he keeps it safe.
That was a near miss right there. They're very lucky not to get hooked and bring out the 30 yellow. We've only got 13 laps remaining here, but a very near miss as we begin to see things heat up and really heat up in this first BET365 duel.
Yeah, it's heading down to crunch time here, and nobody wants to be caught in the back. Everyone's trying to get up to the front as quickly as possible.
There's a couple of SSR boards on the inside there. And they're going to join up with Brandon Smith.
And for just the class of the field today, having a lot of fast cars, and one that wasn't really expected was Jacques Rigel being up front in that Marlboro Ford.
Yeah, he's having a fantastic day today. Lots of laps led. However, here comes Cameron Brennan. Here comes Justin Patrick as well.
Patrick helped from the dodge of Zachary DeLello, and he's going to make it 3 wide to the inside, going for the lead here. Coming off of 4, Patrick now leads. DeLello looking, but nothing doing yet. And Patrick going to lead that lap.
Voiles has been up front a lot today, and he's doing a really good job there of locking a much smaller team into the 500. They've only got 10 laps now to do it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans rooting for that underdog team.
Yeah, that may be the hardest 10 laps of Daniel Voiles' life right here, trying to get this small team in, but they've shown some speed and strength in this duel, that's for sure. Matthew Hubert taking the lead, coming into 3, and he'll keep that lead coming out of 4. Here comes the 29, looking for the lead.
He and Matt Hutchins had a very quiet day, but here he is up front. He is sorry.
Yeah, they've got just 10 laps to go in this duel. And obviously a lot of small teams and part-timers at the front looking to make a name. Matthew Hubert, Nia Marinacci, and Carter Schwab, I believe.
And look at it, here comes Zeller now to run from Sustrai. And that's Seth Morgan as well, who comes into this 31st position in owner's points. And that's a little bit too close to comfort for that 51 team. So there'll be another one looking very desperate in the closing laps here.
Yes, indeed, as here comes the 64 of Zeller.
Big run.
I believe teammates with the 44. I could be mistaken.
You're right.
And they're going to take the lead away from their teammate. Sustrai, Morgan, and Mashburn just behind.
Go back to Fox looking as well. Down goes Sustrai.
Sustrai looking for the lead, has big help from that fast Dodge driven by Seth Morgan and Miles Mashburn in the 72.
Getting kind of strung out just behind. Look at the space on that inside line.
It's strung out on the inside, but it is closer than ever in that back few cars. 60 and the 50 got pretty close that last time by, further back.
On that lap, it was Brandon Smith in the 14th position. However, he's on that middle lane, so he may just fall back. And these guys are getting more strung out right now.
Yeah, the middle, not the greatest line to be in. Always want to be in that bottom, but yeah, they're getting a little strung out. As here comes Reese Kupski, gonna make it 4 wide under Blair McKenzie and Dallas Miller.
I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, he doesn't have to run.
As run stalls out a little bit as McKenzie gets the advantage. Miles Mashburn moves into second past Seth Morgan.
Right now, let's have a look at cars that are outside the top 14. Zachary DeLello, there's a fair few cars here which will be able to pull back on owner's points should it not work out. For example, actually not too many. That most of those who could fall back have ended up towards the front. And it's a real squabble back here. Look at this.
Nice 3 wide moves all through. Roberto Crown Jr., Cameron Brennan, and Spurley all making big moves to try and move up that field.
It sticks to go at the line.
Sustrai leads, Boback Fox in second, Joe Zeller third, and Reese Kupski is looking to take away that third spot as they head into turn 1.
He's got a bit of room there to let a run.
Yeah, obviously being backed up from the 11 is going to really help generate the run, but Kupski, he's wasting no time. He's not going to stay with him.
Now he's got all that room. He's got 2 very powerful Ford engines behind him.
Yes, indeed. Those cars have been really fast, and they are going to ditch him. They want it for themselves.
Now we've gone full circle to where we were at the start with these 3 FSR cars leading. They're 3 wide.
Yeah, Evan's going to take the spot away from Brennan there as Spurley, and here comes Rigel, who was so fast earlier back up front.
Here comes Evan. Spurley looking inside.
Looking 3 wide for the lead here down the backstretch. Looking almost 4. Brandon Smith did not quite have enough of a run to get to the inside.
Same can be said for the 8 car for the lead. However, he may have another run here out of turn 4.
Looking for the lead, but just doesn't have enough. The 2 SSR cars up top as he is a bit of a close call between Matthew Hubert and Brandon Smith. Just popped him out of line a little bit.
So right now, 31 on the bubble, on the 14th place bubble. That may well change as the inside comes into play here. They're going to go 4 wide.
Yeah, Justin Patrick in that 33 just doesn't quite have enough of a run to make it to the inside. Evans continues to lead, Spurley in second, Rigel third, and a strong showing for the part-timer Brandon Smith in fourth.
Let Daniel Voiles back up front now as well. It's real squeaky bum time here. This is where you need to make a move. This is where you need to get yourself inside of the top 14.
Yeah, here's 3 laps to go in this duel, and it's ever so close around that last transfer spot.
And Evans leads very comfortably right now. Like it's a hornet's nest back here.
Nobody really making a move, but they couple cars dove out. The 50 of Rigel and the 00 of Smith. But Smith is going to move into third, and Patrick is going to try and get past that 50.
2 to go here. A few cars losing the pack. Maybe Marinacci. This is not good if you're for either of these 2 cars.
Yeah, not a lot of points, if any, to fall back on. Here comes Brandon Smith with a really good performance for a part-timer. Just behind him, Justin Patrick and that small team Score Motorsports, Daniel Voiles, looking to see if he could possibly contend for the win here. As here comes the 55 of DeLello under his 555 teammate, and here comes the 33 of Patrick under one of the SSR cars. Starting to heat up, almost 4 in the back with Seth Morgan. It looks like they're able to keep it straight and keep it clean, coming toward the white flag. 1 lap to go in the BET365 duel, and Daniel Voiles is going for it all. Up into second, help from McKenzie, trying to ditch, but just can't do it, heading into 1. Such a fast car all day from Voiles. Can he wrap it up here with a win in the duel? Would be huge for that team.
And it was KJ Hayes who last lap was on that 14th place position. He may well race his way into the 500. He's currently on the inside. He's currently so close on that bubble. A 3 wide deep in the field, but here comes Evans out of turns 3 and 4.
Coming out of 4, Luke Evans has been really fast. Voiles, can he do anything coming to the line? Not enough, but a great performance for Voiles, but it'll be Luke Evans winning the first duel here at Daytona.
And there we have it. The top 14 to set the first 14 inside rows, inside spots has been settled, and it has been decided. Yeah, KJ Hayes has raced his way in. Miles Mashburn has raced his way in. Natalie Schubert, Daniel Sell, Daniel Voiles as well. That's a huge one right there. Brandon Smith is a lock, as is Seth Morgan. Some very small teams inside the top 14. But just looking as well, Rigel is going to have to go back onto a qualifying time, as has Cameron Lopez, Bobak Fox, Ben Crouch, Justin Perez, many cars. Dallas Miller, Caleb Evans, that's not good. His time was not good at all. Carter Swab as well. Yeah, we'll see how this pans out after duel number 2.
And we're back here at Daytona International Speedway for the USARC BET365 duel, the second of the 2 duels here at Daytona. Benedict Murdo is on pole alongside Justin Whitmer. Heartbreak at the end of last season, looking to put it to him this season.
Yeah, this is definitely more the interesting duel, and you can see that straight away with the amount of big teams and big drivers that are towards the front and also spread throughout the field. We've got the 2 championship contenders from last season. We've got all the BPM cars, all barring the part-time 88. We've got Benedict Murdo. We've got most of the FSR cars. We've got TGR as well making their debut. We've got a majority of the 555 cars as well. This is where big teams. This is where big teams are going to be racing their way in. There's limited space, so it's going to be a really frantic 30 laps here.
Definitely, and it's going to be a lot of proven drivers jostling for position all day long for this race. Just there's everywhere you look, there's a fast car in this field.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get straight down to it here. The command is about to be said, and we'll go straight down to trackside for that.
Drivers, start your engines!
Here we go, onto the banking they come. Another 30 laps here to help us decide the field. The USARC Aaron's 500 here at Daytona on Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of strong cars in this field. Hopefully, no heartbreak for any of the big teams, but it's always possible with the way things are set up that things could end badly for some teams.
Yeah, there's some that are de facto lock-ins. So, for example, the top 4 in owners points. So, if you look at, for example, Justin Whitmer, Peter Onjak, they may have issues in the duels. I know Onjak had a bad qualifying time, but by being in the top 4 in owners points, they're locked in on the basis that the 4 highest owners points cars that are not in on speed or in the duels get into the race anyway. So those guys are technically locked in, but they're still a big risk for their teammates, such as Aidan Martin and Ricky Freeman Jr. And I mean, just look around. There's so many big names in this duel. It's going to be a brilliant race.
And you got to remember, late last season, the drama between Toyota, the new Toyota factory team, and BPM. Just, do you think that BPM is going to help their new Toyota teammates, or are they going to keep that same attitude towards them?
Absolutely not. I don't see them helping them at all after the comments we saw from BPM management. But we'll just have to see. We've got 30 laps ahead of us. Here we go.
Coming down, and green flag, Benedict Murdo leads them to green, and a huge jump by Justin Whitmer in the 18. A very great start for that 18 team. And Ricky Freeman Jr. making it 3 wide under his teammate and Murdo, wasting no time to get that lead.
It's a big jump from both BPM cars. Whitmer's been left out to dry on the outside. So not the best start for him or Murdo. So not great for the front row. But here comes Cologne as well. Aidan Martin with a good start on the inside. Lots of jostling around already there. 4 wide.
4 wide, lap 1. I believe that's Jeffrey Perkins. Aidan Martin gets really close to the 4 of Greenman.
I think he's going to make it work, though. There they go. They're not 4 wide anymore. They've managed to keep it clean. Over, they're 4 wide in the back, and there they go.
Oh! Onjak around. And he gets hit by the 87 of Clayton Sessom.
That is not what you want if you are the 87 of Clayton Sessom or your reigning champion Peter Onjak. That's not the best start to proceedings at all.
Definitely not. With, the reigning champion already had a very struggling qualifying session. 42nd, and it just seems to get worse for that organization here.
Yeah, so the yellow's out, and it doesn't look like there's too much damage on either car. If there is damage, it's definitely 87 who's worse off, and that is the car desperate in needing a top 14 finish. So we'll take a quick look at that and see what happened. I think it was just a squeeze up in the back with the cars going 4 wide. So yeah, we'll get a look at that quickly. And you are watching the USARC Aaron's Pro Cup Series at Daytona. You can see here, it's John McFadden who forces them 4 wide, and well, just squeezing up in between the 12 and the 14, and it's Onjak who gets the short straw there. Eric Monaco getting quite beaten on the outside. Clayton Sessom had nowhere to go really and just slams into the 14.
Yeah, obviously nowhere to go for that small team, and now they'll be looking to regroup and hopefully make a run to get in get inside that top 14.
And we'll be right back for the restart. You are watching Bet365 Duels at Daytona.
And getting set to go green as the pace car pulls back down pit road. Ricky Freeman Jr. leads. And we're back green after a short caution.
Luna Bennington, who jumped straight out of line. And Murdo's doing the same here as well.
And neither really trying to waste time, but Bennington's move will not help her in the slightest, as nobody went up there except for the 3 of Cologne, and he's getting hung out to dry as well.
There's Nicolas Santiago for Toyota Gazoo Racing on the outside. He's got no help at all. He's going to fall out.
Hopefully he can just get in behind his teammate Lotus Tisperito in the 08, and they can begin to make that move up to the front. Is exactly what he'll do.
He's got Christian Vargas behind him now with a big run. There goes McFadden looking to the inside of Vargas. And up front, look at all this free wide action. And here comes Roach Rockfield for second.
A nearly blank car for Roach Rockfield, looking to do everything he can to try and get a decent amount of money flowing toward that AFM team for this season.
Yeah, and they've got a fairly decent owner points position, so the 66 is probably the most likely car in the AFM camp to make the race. But still, it's always worth a good duel finish. And here comes Aidan Martin now on the inside of Roach Rockfield.
The push from the 4 of Greenman, and just behind him, Justin Whitmer. They've had a decent rivalry forming over the last few weeks.
And he's going to go very cleanly to the inside, followed by the 2 TGR cars. They're just going to latch onto the back of that fast BPM entry and just ride along with him to the front. And we do have some cars losing the pack, actually. It's Clayton Sessom and Austin Scott who are clinging on for dear life here.
Obviously some damage on that 87. The 31 got or that's not the 31. Whatever car it is got a little bit of damage in that wreck too. Hopefully they can hold on.
It's looking difficult. And Disparito's now on the high side. It's Nicolas Santiago going alone for TGR into the 3rd position. This guy's really bunched up right now.
Yeah, it's as close as it can get. A lot of cars under a blanket for spots. As here comes McFadden to the bottom, looking, but nothing doing so far. Whitmer on the bumper of Murdo in 2nd.
2 very fast cars there. 2 race winners from last season. And Murdo will be looking to a much more consistent season this year around. He won 2 races, but was never really in the discussion of championship contention. Whitmer, on the other hand, very much was, and he'll be looking to go one step further this season. And it starts here. It starts right now, even in the dual races. A good result here. Give him a lot of confidence after the heartbreak at Homestead.
So as you look in 5th, there's a real underdog, Wyatt Wilkinson in the 24. Missed a few races last season, but I have high hopes for this team that they're going to bounce back and rebound from the struggles of last season.
Yeah, he's in a good position now. He's going to get some support behind now from Santiago, so he dropped back into line. But yeah, he got a pole at Chicagoland last season, Wyatt Wilkinson. However, apart from that, he was struck with bad reliability, just bad luck getting into accidents. So it's a real tough season for one of the more underfunded teams. So yeah, definitely we'll look forward to seeing that 24, hopefully, towards the front of the field this year.
He's making some solid moves, looking into 3rd past Justin Whitmer. John McFadden, who started close to the back in 2nd, but Wilkinson Once more, he's going to go for second. And a solid move by Wyatt Wilkinson into second. Nicholas Santiago behind with the push. As Wilkinson moves up, a lot of drivers fanning out. Looking nearly 4, but not enough just yet.
You know, the pack's quite strung out right now. However, they're kind of condensing up again. It's like an accordion, really, across these 30 laps. And when that gap and when the space is shorter, as Whitney gets in the wall there, that's when they're prone to accidents that we've already seen today.
Yeah, obviously one caution through both duels so far, so they've been fairly clean, but obviously not totally clean. As Santiago in second, he's looking to try and make a run at this lead.
Yeah, Santiago with a good race so far. Murdo has very much led comfortably for a majority of this. And it looks like, you know, judging by the speed of the SSR cars, you've got to have partners with you when you go for that lead position.
Oh, definitely. It's hard when you ain't got enough power to work with, but yeah. There's a Santiago in second, trying to make a run. Here comes Steel Wolf to the inside of Gutierrez for the third position.
Yeah, that was a man who had a very poor qualifying time. Really would not want to pull back on it. Same concept for Santiago, really. He was 30th fastest out of 51, and you can't really fall back on a time in the 30th position. So him running second is really good. A really good start for TGR. Obviously, his owner's points position was much lower than his teammates outside the top 30. So a good result here will do the world of good for TGR. And he's ahead of both BPM cars at the moment, so a very good showing for the factory team in what is developing into a bit of a rivalry between the two, even though we've just only hit the track.
Yeah, some very scalding comments were left by Justin Whitmer following Homestead, and it's definitely one of the rivalries to talk about. Justin Whitmer, he's got a lot of targets on his back from people. He's definitely been very outspoken about some people.
Here comes Stephen Colon. He's had a very quiet race. He had a very good qualifying, so he should be fine on his time and owner's points. But it's good to go all that one step further and get a dual win or a top 14. Here comes Chase Chris now on the inside with help from Eric Monaco, who's running a part-time schedule for Daytona Motorsports. He's going to ditch him and go to the inside. He just doesn't have the run.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good runs from part-timers in Duel 1, and it's showing here with Monaco and Chris second and third.
You have to go a long way back in the field to find another part-timer. Oh, and they're really shuffling here. Disparito. They are...
You see on that bottom, 3 full-send racing cars lined up. Greenman, Bennington, and McFadden.
And they've got a very fast Onjorto machine behind them and a very fast Toyota from BPM in front of them. So a lot of strong cars on that inside line. Peter Onjak's there as well. He's been hanging at the back. He could really do with making a move now. As Ricky Freeman Jr. now up into second, he has got a car underneath him that can challenge Will.
Yeah, Freeman Jr. was really fast last year. I believe he did get a win.
No, very nearly.
And but obviously now he'd be looking for a win.
Yeah. And it was the man who he's taking the lead from who took away his opportunity for a first career win. It was Benedict Murdo who won at Monterey after that infamous moment coming off the final corner when he completely hooked 15 and took the victory in that race.
Very controversial move, but in stock cars, you know, people will do anything for a win. I've heard some people say they'd wreck their own mother for a win.
I wonder who in this field would be willing to do that to race their way in to the Aaron's 500. John McFadden now in second. Murdo holding his own on the outside, actually. He's got a very good run. May even clear the 39 here. It's going to be tight. It's not quite.
And McFadden moves into second. Roche Rotfield in the 66, and Peter Onjak recovering from that early spin just behind.
Good showing from the reigning champion now, able to recover from that incident. As I said, fairly minor damage to the full team there, and it was the smaller teams that have lost out more. They completely lost the pack.
Yeah, Austin Scott and Clayton Sessom, that's just not what they want to see. And they'll hope that something will work out in their favor.
Yeah, we've got a few things to fall back on. It just depends on how everything folds out in this duel, and then we can get the full starting lineup to you. But right now, they're fairly calm up front. They're stringing out once again. Just over 10 laps to go here.
Yes, Ricky Freeman Jr. with an absolute rocket ship in the 15, and John McFadden very fast in that Arby's Dodge. Peter Onjak made a great drive through the field, and Wyatt Wilkinson, one of the underdogs, with a lot of speed as well.
And look who's coming behind the 52 of Angel Gutierrez. It's Justin Whitmer coming back to the front of the field here. He's going to have a run. The fast car underneath him, he could make mincemeat of a couple of these guys.
As Wilkinson peaks low for the third position on Onjak.
Wide back
and
here.
He's going to get pretty close. And the two of the TGR cars are in that. They keep it clean, which is pretty good for them, because they would not want to have to see a wreck.
No, Disbrito may be able to fall back on owner's points, but it's too close for comfort. Santiago would struggle more, as he's just rode right up the track. I'm not sure what that was all about for Nicholas Santiago. And yeah, right now, towards the back, both TGR cars, so not the best right now, however, they've got a long way to go to remedy that.
Here comes Justin Whitmer looking under the 39 of McFadden. He just doesn't have enough, though. Maybe trying to get up with his teammate and maybe just ride it out.
Yeah, and lock out that outside, those couple of outside spots just behind the SSR duo, possibly. Not many people on the inside right now. Stephen Cologne's going to come down and help. Alexi Herman's down to help as well. There's Chase Chris on the inside with his teammate just ahead of him. Yeah, kind of a strung out pack right now, but as we said,
yep,
the accordion effect will soon take place, and I imagine, especially as the race closes in, we'll get a lot more closer racing in this pack.
Yeah, and Freeman Jr. has just been the class of the field, holding him off, but Stephen Cologne is going to try and break up those two BPM cars, and he's going to do just that, moving into second. Alexi Herman and Chase Chris are going to fall behind.
I wonder what that's going to do. Can Cologne beat the 15 on pace? Does he need some help from a partner behind? Got 9 laps to figure it out.
Coming into one, he just doesn't have a run, doesn't have the help yet. Hoping that 53 can pull up onto the bumper and give him something he can work with. And behind Chris, you see the 77 of Ramashko. Needs a good run. New team.
Here comes Aidan Martin.
Aidan Martin had terrible luck last year, and hoping to right the ship this year. Just under 10 laps to go in this duel.
Here comes
And Herman looks to the inside and will likely get second away from the 3. But Ricky Freeman Jr. continues his dominance of Duel 2.
Aaron, it's obviously not a points race, but a victory in Duels is always something that's welcomed. He's only just a few laps away now.
Coming down into 3, Aidan Martin dives low, looking for second. What can he do with that 41 car?
RFJ's got no help out front, and there could be some big runs coming.
It's now Christian Vargas looks, but he can't quite get onto the 41. Just behind those two, you got two of the full send racing cars of McFadden and Greenman.
Then it's Andreas Andronikau for FSR.
It's their pretty much single file John McFadden, the only defector in the top 5 going low. Now Chase Christ will pull to the bumper of the 39, giving him a push into 3rd.
Keeping an eye on the TGR cars, that's a big team that need a good result here in the duels, and I think they're inside the top 14 right now. However, it's very close to comfort with 5 laps to go.
Freeman Jr. keeping a tight hold on that lead, but you just gotta wonder, what can those guys behind him do?
Murdo's not exactly sprinted back to the front of the field, and he seems to be the only car who can contend with the 01. But here he comes now, on the side of Wyatt Wilkinson.
John McFadden looking under Aiden Martin for second.
He's got such a comfortable lead right now for RFJ. And here's William Ayers. We've not really spoken about him today. Up into 3rd on the inside.
Yeah, Shock Point Racing has had a huge expansion of the team. They had a win last year with their 33 car, but hopefully they can just stay out of trouble this season.
Yeah, they've got very much more fortunate finances than they did this time last year, or this rather than any point last season. So it's good to see when teams expand. As long as they do it responsibly, which we hope it works out for SPR. Here comes Murdo now. He's in a good position. He's got a huge run.
Looking for 3rd on Ayers, which he'll do.
Look at those TGR cars now. They're locked up together on the inside. They just got to stay there now, and they'll be sitting very pretty heading into the last few laps.
Yeah, and they got a fast Dodge in front of him who's looking to do whatever he can to get up front and maybe help his teammate who's in 2nd.
Oh,
as here comes Murdo to the inside.
A big block on Cologne. Going to help his teammates stay in front. As Murdo yet to the inside of McFadden.
Murdo into 2nd. Greenman looks for 3rd. And maybe even more, but he can't get to the inside. Three to go for Ricky Freeman Jr. And Benedict Murdo, he wants it. Freeman goes with his teammate, McFadden, and he can't get low to block Lotus Disparito in the 08. Those TGR cars lined up.
This is big now. Santiago's going to have to block low.
Santiago now 3 wide. Benedict Murdo has taken the lead now. And we're coming to 2 to go this time for Benedict Murdo. And they're 3 wide behind him.
So close at the line. This pack now really under a blanket. This is getting intense now on that current transfer spot, or the lock-in spot I should say. It's currently Eli Stillwolf who lapped there last time. He's got 2 laps to stay inside the top 14.
And Murdo looking really fast, and it looks like they're almost going to go 4 here.
Well, Santiago's going to close it off. Here comes Vargas on the inside. They're 4 wide. Here's Onjak now. Oh, that's close. White flag this time by. There's contact!
Oh! Onjak into Whitmer! And a huge crash coming toward the line.
And that's going to win the duel for Murdo. And lock in Nicholas Santiago for Toyota Gazoo Racing in the USARC Aaron's 500. Roach Rockfield's in. White Wilkinson's in. Jeffrey Perkins has made the race, as has Naziri Ramashko, Eric Monaco, Lexi Herman as well, Luna Bennington, Aidan Martin in that final transfer spot. We'll get a look at what happened quickly, but that will be your race right there. Wow.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick look. You are watching the USARC Aaron's Pro Cup Series. We'll actually just quickly see Murdo take the flag. A very dramatic end to duel number 2. It's going to see... Well, that's also an issue, by the way, for TGR. That 08. Lotus Disputers going to have to go back onto bonus points. We'll see if they can make it into this race. But, off the turn 4, it's Benedict Murdo.
Definitely a strong run for Benedict Murdo, and he'll take away what would have been a dominant win for Ricky Freeman Jr.
And that's the 2 pole sitters for each duel and the front row for the 500, sweeping the dual races amazingly. We're going to take a quick look at what's happened to bring the conclusion to duel number 2 under yellow. We'll be right back. Here's what happened on Jack and Steelwolf and Whitmer, and they run out of room and they squeeze up and into the wall, and there's chaos behind this. Andronica involved. Eric Monaco takes a hit but manages to finish inside the top 14. These guys all across the line, very sunny, very damaged cars. The people who got the worst from it were McFadden and Andronica, who may well miss the race now.
Yeah, very fast car for McFadden, just taken out like that. He had a huge rocket ship, and it completely jumped the car, took out the motor and everything.
So we'll be right back to bring you your starting lineup for the Season 2 Aaron's 500. Well, you should be seeing your starting lineup on your screen now. Very, very fascinating pair of duels. Very 2 starkly different races. Duel 2 finishing in chaos and smoke. But a real interesting preview to what we can see on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely some interesting racing all around. Close fights and even some 4 wide moves being thrown. They kept it clean mostly, except up until the last lap up to the 2, where ended in chaos. But hopefully they'll keep it clean for Saturday.
Yeah, and we hope to see you there with us for the big event. It's the USARC Aaron's Pro Cup Series. It's the Aaron's 500 at Daytona, 60 laps around the World Centre of Racing. But tomorrow night as well, we have the Granger Truck Series as an inaugural event. You do not want to miss that, let me tell you now. That race is going to feed families. It's peak stock car racing in its purest form. We cannot wait to have you there with us for both of those events. So until next time,